color, images of our people, and also images of just what we do. And I just felt like, well, I got a little bit of a unique spin, a unique taste on things. And I said, you know what, I like to direct. Let me just grab a camera and let's see what directing's all about. Initially, I didn't want to get into television or filmmaking because honestly, I wanted to be an audio engineer.
Oh wow! And
it was a class at Bunker Hill Community College where it was a video production class where I made a short film called The Street Master, which was a kung fu movie, and I said, ooh, I like this. I'm gonna stay right here.
You stayed in the lane of some filmmaking as opposed to just audio engineering, which is not just, but I hear what you're talking about.
Right, and so what happened is I basically went to the New England Institute of Art. I graduated as the most outstanding broadcaster.
Congratulations.
In the school's history. I think the first African American to do that.
Whoa.
And I also graduated with my associate's degree in television broadcasting, digital filmmaking.
Congratulations on both of those.
Thank you.
Now, to date, in addition to Confused by Love, how many different features have you done prior to that?
Well, this is actually my second directorial film. It feels like my first one, though. But I have co-produced and edited at least 7 different features starring notable Hollywood actors and actresses like Trey Ireland, Jasmine Lewis, Karen Ward-Ross, Brian Hooks, Tim McCall, who's working on Queen Sugar right now with Ava DuVernay, Terry J. Vaughn, Erica Hubbard, and basically under the Inferno Productions production house in Chicago, Illinois with Christopher Nolan, usually as co-producer editor on his projects. So, yeah.
Did you have a question?
No,
okay, no, I wasn't sure. So, is there, so it sounds like you didn't necessarily have a traditional path. It sounds like that's kind of like the route that, would you have a path advice for people who want to get into what you're doing right now?
It's basically get yourself in the door, just work on whatever that's out there, any project that a person has, just offer yourself up, be vulnerable. Make yourself available to people who basically are doing great work because you don't know where that person's going to be in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So my first project I ever worked on was a student show called Variety Live, where I was basically doing camera operating at the New England Institute of Art for that show. And so I said, okay, well, that was great. Now let me just create my own thing. Let me do my own thing. So that turned out to be the Beantown Block, which was a music variety show. We won awards for that. And,
nice.
That was, back in 2003. And then as soon as we were got into sketch comedy show with my friends, which you know the Holland family. Shout out to Laz, Jojo Santisa, Chris Opal. We basically created a sketch comedy show when YouTube came out called The Block Presents. Which,
oh, wow.
We had over 60,000 views for that show, so you can find it on our Triceptus YouTube page at Triceptus, TRICEPTUS, and check it out, some of the craziness that we did.
Nice. Wow. I'm very impressed. Wow.
I do have
you go ahead.
Yeah.
Just over.
Yeah. No. So I definitely have a it's interesting because I took classes at Improv Asylum and now I'm taking classes at Improv Boston.
Oh, awesome.
And I'm one of the very few black people, there. And so where do we find more black improvisers and or just people of color in general, like Hispanics and just everyone else?
Well, that's, for me, I like to travel. So I usually would go to different areas, different sections. Usually there are black filmmaker groups, not only here in New York, but also here in Boston. Lisa Simmons with the Roxbury Int'l Film Fest, very good resource. And Keith Mascoll, who actually has improv experience. He basically works as well with the theater troupe around here, the theater actors here in the area. So there's a number of groups. Facebook is a great place. Hollywood East Actors Group, which is a very good resource, who's run by Erica Derrickson. She's definitely somebody to get involved. There's, people of color here in Massachusetts, and it's something we want to really build as well in terms of black filmmakers that are here in the city as well. So we're looking into basically finding ways how we can, increase that for people.
That's great. So Keith, let's talk about your experience here in Boston as an actor extraordinaire, and he just mentioned that you do improv.
Yeah, tell us your story.
Yeah, tell us your story.
Oh, Lord. Where do I begin? I mean, it's, my mother said I've been acting since, the age of 5. Being grown up, bien jeune. Shout out to all the Beijings out there, Barbados, stand up.
Yeah, man.
You're always laughing in the house. You know what I'm saying? You're always making fun of your father and the way he talks and the way he dances and thinks. And so, it just started, it kind of started there. I went to St. Bart's in Cambridge. And, there was just such a rich culture of expressing yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of how it got started, and then, going to high school and things like that with a lot of other talented people, you can't help but be inspired by that. You know what I'm saying? And so that is kind of how I got into it. And however, though, I did run from it for a while. I did run from it. My father wanted me to be a political science major and stuff like that. So I kind of got away from it a little bit, but it came back to me. I ran back to it. I also have an educational background and working with kids and things like that. And I always did it on the side. But within the last 6 years, I'm full-time.
Right.
Full-time actor, teaching artists with the Huntington Theater Company and things like that. And I feel blessed, to say that I am a full-time actor. This is how I pay my bills, 99.9%. But I'm SAG and AFTRA in that union, but I'm also equity as well. So I'm blessed because I can do stage, but then I also can do film. And so,
you're living the dream. You're living the dream.
You know what? I mean, people say that to me all the time. Like, Keith, you're living the dream. And I'm like, that's my life.
And I love the fact that you said that you got away from it for a little while and then came back. And
right.
I can speak to that as well as a comic, because because it might, you might go through whatever you go through, but once the comedy bug hits you, it brings you back in, no matter how hard you try to run away from it. Eventually, you run back.
Well,
and
yeah, I mean, the thing about comedy is that I ran from comedy.
Oh,
I started doing comedy stuff, and people, you're funny, you can do impressions and things like that. And I was like, no, I want to be like Denzel. I want to be serious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, doing more dramatic stuff, and I got away from comedy. But it wasn't until I got back to doing comedy that things started to open up for me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
A Mass State Lottery commercial, straight comedy.
Right, I saw that.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw
Stuff
that.
like that. So
That was great.
I felt like I got back to being me. And then that's how, and just doing that stuff.
So Keith,
Yes.
oh my gosh, you're hitting really important stuff here. So eventually, as actors, eventually you get cast as yourself, and that's when they say your success begins. When actually you've done the work so hard, actually just to be you. So who you are is what they want to see.
And then one thing that is the number one thing that's been been difficult for me, and the struggle is to understand that I don't have to be anybody else but myself to a certain extent,
right?
Or that I'm good enough. And I think that's one thing as black males, that we struggle with a lot too, of that I'm just good enough to be me. You know what I mean? And so that was that's a journey. That's a bomb therapist. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of stuff. And going from the theater world into film is just different. You know, it's different because everybody here in Boston talks about, when I talk about theater, I feel it's from an academic, outlook.
Right. So none of this is easy. You have to put the work in.
No.
I think a lot of people think, actors and comics and directors and writers, they're all just playing.
Right.
No one's playing. It's like real work.
Right. No, it's real work. And I think also too,
it's fun.
Yeah.
Just like radio's fun too, but
but
it's real. It takes work. Like he and I, we prepare. We do production. You know what I mean? Pre-production.
Right. No. You have to prepare, and there are techniques and stuff. And I think it's finding your niche. Finding your niche where you can be yourself naturally. And once you're able to find that space, then you start to really take off. I mean, that's the thing about this film.
So you found it.
Yeah. In some ways. I think I'm still working, but the thing about this film is it's different from who I am. The character that I played, Ferguson, is a little bit different. People continue to try to look for me, and there is me, but it's different.
Can we share, a little bit of the plot with the audience, Crosby?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. Well, the movie is called Confused by Love. It is a story about Ferguson and Tiffany Middlebecker, a newlywed couple who suddenly find themselves broke and about to lose their home to foreclosure. So Hope, however, comes in the form of Reggie Maxwell, who is Ferguson's former ex-best friend, and JoJo.
Simba Dabinga.
Nice, shout out.
And Jordan Lloyd, who plays JoJo, who is Ferguson's ex-girlfriend, who both offered to help Ferguson and his wife Tiffany out, who's played by Jamie Perez, if they could stay at their house for 5 days straight.
Now, I'm sorry.
So, they go through a lot. So basically, a lot of hidden secrets, a lot of unique plot twists and turns happen in this house for 5 days as each of these four couples try to do whatever they can to not only save a home, but their respective relationships as well.
Now, it's been received really well. I mean, you guys also had a screening prior to this screening, correct?
Yes.
Over at the Kendall Square Theater?
Yes. That was back in February.
Yes.
Basically, it was just something for our hometown audience, just for our small supporters. It was actually a sold-out screening, which we were very proud to sell out, Kendall. And after that, we basically were selected to be in the Festival International Pan-African du Cannes.
Now, what is that like, just to go over there? If you can give us a brief description.
Yeah, I was able to go to France. It was incredible. To think that your art would take you to another country like that is unbelievable. I was looking for all the Bajans in France. I didn't find one. I was a little upset about
Mostly
that.
Africans in France.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
yeah,
definitely.
mostly.
Which we came from, but
Yeah.
no, it was incredible. It was incredible because they have such an appreciation for art in a different way than we here in the States have.
That's
You know,
wonderful.
there'd be trinkets sold everywhere. There's art being sold everywhere, which was just amazing. And not just like, oh, I'm just gonna, throw something on a canvas, like serious art. And so one thing that really stood out to me is I was there with another filmmaker, Lorna Lowe. Shout out to Lorna, and we were doing like photo shoots. People moved out of our way so we could take pictures. Like they were like into everything that we were doing, and I was like, wow, this wouldn't happen in the States. People would just walk by and make fun of you and stuff like that, and people stopped to watch us, to look at the angles we were taking and the poses and stuff. So that was just incredible.
That is just such an appreciation.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like your moment to be appreciated.
Exactly. And they appreciated, they came in, talked about the film and they liked it and they wanted to see more of it. So it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible.
Would you guys mind just sticking around for a few more minutes? We're going to actually take a quick pause, a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and ask you some wrap-up questions.
Sure, no problem. Thank you.
We appreciate that.
We are here.
We'll play a little music. We do that occasionally. This is some Kenny Lattimore, Still Good on the Base of Boston, WZBR. I think Mark's at the door, or somebody's at the door.